Now, this rule behind me on this board that I'm about to share with you completely, and I repeat, completely changed my finances. You know what? I mean, it's quite normal for people to be like, okay, fine, I would love to save, I would love to invest, I would love to do the thing. I get employed somewhere or I run a business, but I don't know exactly what goes where. What should I save out of the amount of money? I mean, like, can I have like sort of a guidance that I should be able to adhere to or follow, and at least can actually offer me the route on what I'm supposed to do so that I'm able to realize what we call the financial freedom. This formula, this rule actually completely changed my life as far as the finances are concerned. And guess what? This is the very first rule that came across, and I said, guess what? I'm gonna be quote unquote stupid. I'm gonna follow this rule continuously and see what it can actually do. And today I'm here with you to explain in detail. As you have seen, what I've written on this board is that I've explained it in detail. What is it? I know you've ever heard of it, to 50, 30, 20 rule. What exactly does it compose of? Okay, that is it, what I'm going to share with you. The only thing I would like to do, or I would like you to do for me as a favor, is to go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you hit that like button, and also make sure that you subscribe to this channel, because this channel is where we get everything to do with cash and money. And this is Good Joseph speaking, in case you're clicking this video for the first time. Let's go ahead and have the discussion. All right, jump here. See, we're talking about the 50, 30, 20% rule. What are these? By the way, these are percentages, and if you were to add all of them, they'll add up to 100. 50 plus 30 plus 20, that's 100. So what exactly do we do with this rule? This is basically a tool that we can use for us to manage our finances. And what exactly does the fifth stand for? The 50% stand for that the 50% of everything that you earn, that is what, after we've done what we call the tax deductions. You know, some people tend to ask me on the comment section, Joseph, are you referring to 100,000 before tax or thereafter the tax? I'm referring, any cash that I talk about, I refer, that is your money. I don't talk about the money that is yet to be subjected to the tax deductions. I talk about the money that's already been subjected to the tax deductions. See, now what you're supposed to do, that cash that you earn each and every month, week, or a day, 50% of it, or in simple term, half of that amount of money should be channeled towards doing what? Income, should be channeled towards the essential expenses. What are these essential expenses? That 50% of your money should be channeled towards the housing, that is paying your rent or anything, maybe mortgages and what have you. Utilities like the water, the electricity and such should be channeled towards the groceries, that is doing the shopping for your things. And that the other thing is about the transportation, obviously the movement from one point to the other. The other thing is about minimum loan repayment. Basically means like there is that dear loan that you cannot part ways with, then that is what you channel that amount of money. But the minimum part of the loan, that one you can disregard it and you can get it off this percentage of the 50%. What exactly does that mean? It simply means if you say you earn 100,000, 50,000 of it should be channeled toward catering these things. Let me repeat it in simple words. 50% is simply means half of what you earn should be channeled towards catering the essential expenses. Don't tell me alcohol is essential expenses. It is not. Buying clothing and those expenses, it is not. The essential, you know what? We usually have three things: the basic, the food, the shirt, and the clothing. And among those three things, there is one that is more essential than the rest of them. That is food. By the way, you can eat and walk naked. You can even eat, dress, and sleep outside. But there's no way you can tell me you can pay the rent without you eating. It's first eat, you dress, then you have the shelter. You get the thing? It's the basics of the basics. So the 50%, that's the half of your salary, should be channeled towards the investment, or rather should be channeled towards the essential needs or the essential expenses. Now, for example, I'm saying if you earn 100K, then you need 50,000 to channel towards this, because 50,000 is half of 100,000. If you earn 50K, then 25,000 should be channeled towards catering these things. If you want 20,000, I'm actually using this different amount of money so that the idea can actually sink. If you want 20,000, then 10,000 should be channeled towards catering of these expenses. But sometimes the lesser you earn, sometimes this formula may be a little bit tougher for you to apply it. For example, let's say someone is earning like 10,000 a month, and then 5,000 they're supposed to pay the rent. That amount of money they're supposed to pay for the utilities. Yeah, I understand that you can be able to get a place where you can be able to live, maybe let's say for 2,500 or something of sort, and maybe food, and but it's a bit tough, okay? But I always tell people is that it's always good to adjust yourself based on that what is working for you. But in any way, never leave a basket for savings open. You should always make sure that you put something at the end of the day. Let me just first of all explain, then later I'm gonna give you what you're supposed to do. Now we go to this next part. The next part now is the 30%. The 30% simply means it's the 30% of whatever you earn that you channel towards your wants. These are your needs. You know, there's a difference between a need and a want. A need, that's something that you cannot negotiate with it. It has to be like that. You cannot negotiate. You cannot negotiate with food. You can't be like, hey, guess what? For the next 3 months, I'm not gonna eat so that I save and become wealthy. You cannot negotiate with food. All right. But obviously, when I talk about food, there are, you know, the delicacies, their cuisines, their expensive foods, and their food that you prepare them from your home. See, the 30% should be channeled towards your wants. Okay, basically here we are talking about this discretionary spending. Discretionary spending is where you fund your lifestyle. For God's sake, you're a human being and you have to live decently, and also, you know, there are things that actually makes us, sort of human beings and something of sort. Okay, see, these are the things like dining out. You know, you have to maybe some time to time go out, maybe take your dinner or something of sort, something like entertainment. Maybe perhaps you love entertaining yourself. This is where people who do the thing usually comes in here. And now they wish to travel. Personally, I love traveling. I'm an adventurous guy. You know, I don't take alcohol. What I do is to travel, is to move to places and all those kind of things. You know, that's like my alcohol. You know, so then I have to make sure that that money falls under this category. Then it is about the personal car to fuel, maybe servicing and all those kind of things. So that falls under the wants, because obviously you cannot fuel with the money that is spent for the groceries. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And then the shopping thing, the shopping part. You know, by the way, there's a difference between doing the groceries and shopping. People tend to, put them, at the same time. Shopping here can involve you getting for that good looking shoe or whatever the thing it is. You know, groceries is where you are going for the basics, for the foods and what have you. But in Kenya, when you say groceries and shopping, you don't, what are you talking about? I mean, shopping is shopping. For people, when you tell a typical Kenyan, I'm going to do a shopping, basically they know you're doing shopping for your house. Okay, Kenyans, hello, you just do the shopping wherever you understand it. Okay. Now, the other thing is about the subscription. This way, maybe you're paying for your cable, or maybe when I say cable, I mean like you're paying something like Netflix, you're paying this like a cable TV, you're paying like, whatever the subscription that you have, maybe gym, maybe whatever the thing that you have out there that you're paying the subscription. All those are wants. Why are they called wants? They are things that you can do away with. You don't really need them. In cases of emergencies, we can disregard this part. I repeat, in cases of emergencies where things are actually a little bit tough and tight, you can be able to disregard this. Maybe you can sort of get off the subscription. Maybe sometimes you can say like sort of put aside that car. You can liquidate the car, or maybe you can just say, hey, guess what? For the next 2 or 3 months, I ain't gonna do something to do with adventuring or traveling. Sometimes we actually sacrifice this not because an emergency has happened. It is good when you say, hey, guess what? At the end of this year, I want to get an X amount of money. And how can I get an X of amount of money? If I rely with the current savings that I'm having, I'm not going to realize that. So therefore, I'm going to cut cost on all these areas. Like I'm saying, hey, guess what? Not that I'll never go for a dining out. I'm going to go that, but what I'm going to do is to reduce the frequency at which I'm going for those dinner. The other things to do with entertainment, I'm going to reduce that. The rate at which I'm doing my shopping, I'm going to reduce that or scrap it off. The rate at which I'm doing my travel, I'm going to scrap it off or maybe reduce the quantity or the frequency. Subscription, let's say. So these are the areas that you can negotiate with, okay? You can negotiate, you can twist it the way you want so that it can fit exactly how you would like it to be. And the reason why you shape this is either you're operating on an emergency, you're operating on a tight budget, or you're having a cash crunch, or maybe let's say you would like to hasten the period of achievement of a certain goal that you would love to achieve. Just to make it clear for people who sometimes becomes a bit hard to relate, what is a percentage to the reference, the amount of money you earn. Let's say if you earn 100 Gs or 100K a month, 30,000, okay? If you earn 50K, 15,000. If you earn 20,000, 6,000, that's what I mean. They should be channeled towards this particular part. Okay, now we go to the last part, which is quite interesting, the part that I love most. For me, if you ask me, I love to take care of the first one and the last one. This one, I can just leave it that way, but if I can be able to handle this, because it's a must, and this part is a must. Why? I told you last time on a video that make a savings a bill. Make your savings a bill. Just the way you pay water, electricity, and what have you, make savings as another bill. So on the 20% here, this is where it goes towards the savings and the debt repayment, or it can also go towards what we call the investments, okay? And this is basically what helps you to achieve what we call the financial future. The financial future, be it either financial freedom or whatever the thing it is. This is basically for the purposes of the growth and the future development. So 20% of whichever you earn should be channeled towards either savings, debt repayment, investments, and what have you. Basically, this is the percentage that we use to create what we call the emergency fund. This is the percentage that we use to do what we call the retrieval, or what we call the retirement savings. This is what we use to do what we call the investments, whereby you subject your money to a growth, and therefore you can be able to make not only the principal amount is secured, but also it's giving birth to small money at the same time. The debt repayment, you have a debt, and I really hope that debt that you're having right now, it's a healthy one, because we have two types of the debt. You can have a debt that you did take, to fund the consumables. Maybe you took a debt to go for an outing, maybe you took a debt to go to Santorini, whatever the place it is. It's good to take that. Debts are not bad, but if you can take them and channel them appropriately, then it can be used as a wonderful tool to create wealth. Another thing is about the savings goal. Let's say maybe, for example, at the beginning of this year, we embarked on a savings challenge of saving at least 100,000 at the end of the year. And some of the guys in my group, they have already managed to do that. Others are still pushing on the way. Others, their goal was not even actually 100,000. Others are on a goal or a target of saving $1 million. So it all depends on who or what you would like to get. Just to, shed some light on exactly what that means. To 100,000, or 20% of 100,000 is 20K, 20% of 50K is 10K, 20% of 20,000 is actually 4,000. So this is just to explain to you exactly how your numbers should look like. Maybe perhaps you want in between this amount of money that I've used, maybe it's about 75% or 75,000. You can actually calculate that so that you can understand what exactly is there for you and what exactly you're supposed to do about it. So the point is, make sure that at least you incorporate all these usages, so that what, I'm not only taking care of my present, but my future is also on the safe hands as far as the investments are concerned. I bet you've gotten me now. Let me just do a recap and make it easier. Just like I've said in between my submission, I've said I usually cater much on this and that one. Why? Because if I take care of my present and take care of my future, whatever happens on what makes me happy as of now, or maybe like spendings and what have you. Because guess what? Most of the people disregard this and that. This one, nobody talks about it. Why? Because by default, we expect you to do this. And that's why you find not people even enjoys, that's why you find not people even sort of goes there and on the social media and brag about them paying a house rent, or maybe about them doing the groceries. Unless you're doing a crazy one, that's the time that you can let us know. But this one, nobody talks about it. About the savings, still nobody talks about it much, but this is where people tend to brag and try to show others are living better. If you're going for your traveling or adventuring, you have to show people. If you're going for your shopping, you have to show people. When you're doing your subscription, the dining out and all those kind of things, be very careful, because in most cases you find most of the cash is actually getting lost in this particular area. And what you realize is that in this particular area, most of the people tend to do it not for them, but for the sake of others, to prove a point. Be very careful in this category. Sometimes if you are a bit frugal like I am, you can inverse the process. You can bring the 20 here and take the 30 on the other side. It's true. Yeah, it can actually work. Yeah, you can actually inverse the process and say, take the 30 here and bring the 20 here. You actually splash that 20% towards the entertainment and 30 towards the savings, if you're so much cautious about your future and such kind of things. Never forget this: control the controllables, take care of minor things, and major ones will take care of themselves. If you would like to have a discussion with me pertaining on the same at a personal level, then you can always grab that number of mine. Let's talk business, let's talk investment. And always, before you even do any investment, always contact your financial advisor so that you can get the appropriate decision out there. That is the disclaimer that I always give you. Take that, what I come here to share, that what I understand, and it's you now to go ahead further and make sure that you contact your financial advisor so that you can get the appropriate step to take before investing your money out there. All right, for now it's a goodbye. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me, my number is always on the description of this specific video. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one. And don't forget to leave me a comment on the comment section and like the video, as well as subscribing. See you there.